What's up, badass nerds? It's time to find a quiet place. Finally, I'm back with another video. And finally, I'm back with another Scaredy-Cat's review of a horror movie. This time, I'm reviewing A Quiet Place. Now, I went to see A Quiet Place on Thursday. It is now very late on Saturday night. So, hopefully, all the thoughts I had about it are still in there somewhere, and I can pluck them out and serve them to you on a platter as like brain stew or I don't know. This metaphor is not working. Anyway, A Quiet Place. It was an awesome movie. I was terrified to see this movie because the trailers made it look terrifying. But there's so much more to it than horror. And that being said, it is still a horror movie. Even though I wasn't all that scared, you know? I cried more than I was scared. That's right, folks. I cried multiple times during a horror movie. That shit got me. A Quiet Place has very few actors. Very few. So, what money they saved not paying a bunch of actors, they used on special effects, which were pretty good. This movie stars John Krasinski, the love of my life, and Emily Blunt, the tramp who stole him from me. No offense, Emily Blunt, I bear no ill will towards you, except I want to marry your husband. So what? It's not a big deal. Anyway, those are the main stars. The only other people in the movie are their 3 children and an old man and an old woman. The old woman is just a dead body though, so it's not really... They probably didn't have to pay her much. Anywho's, that was the cast. John Krasinski helped write this script, and he directed it, and he produced it, and he was all over this film, and he did an amazing job. Rotten Tomatoes has given this movie a 95%. The viewers on Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 85%. Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie more than the viewers did. That, like, never happens. Almost ever. So this movie is a very new and interesting concept. Like, no one's ever done this. And it's awesome. It's about basically a post-apocalyptic world that has been taken over by these monsters who can't see but have supersonic hearing. And the movie focuses around a family. John Krasinski's the father, Emily Blunt's the mother, and they have 3 kids. And I think that they had an advantage because their daughter, the oldest child, is deaf. And she's like maybe 11 or 12, I think. They don't say ages. But so she's deaf, so the entire family knows sign language. Knowing sign language helps them a great deal throughout this movie, because they don't have to speak. They just sign to one another, and it tells you in subtitles what they're saying, and sometimes they whisper as they're signing. I think that's just a habit of people, because it's like the deaf person's not going to hear you. I think it's just for our own peace of mind or something. But there's really not a lot of sound in the movie. Now, it starts off slow, but maybe 15 minutes into the movie, bam! You just get hit with this freaking huge plot twist, and it rips your heart out. 15 minutes into the movie. And they made one of horror movies' cardinal sins. They showed the monster 15 minutes into the movie, which, like, nobody does, because it's all about the suspense, right? And you'd think that that would ruin the movie. Nope. It was still amazing. They still made it amazing. They set up these foreshadowings and these plot twists, and the family is so human. Like, a lot of movies, horror movies, someone will die, like, right in front of a person, and then they are just, like, running off and, like, don't care that they just got that they just watched their mother get, like, shanked a bunch of times and bleed out. Like, they just run and they're just like, whatevs, as long as I'm alive. But this family in the movie, they're so human. They make you love them because you feel this genuine connection to them because of the love they have for each other and the way that they go out of the way to protect each other is just amazing. So you're so invested in these characters, which does not happen a lot in horror movies. This movie is not just a horror movie. It's just a really, really good movie. Now, I wasn't super scared, and this is coming from a giant pussy. Like, I'm a giant pussy. I get scared very easily. I don't like to be jump scared. And I'm afraid to eat during scary movies because I think that I'll jump and choke to death. That is a literal thing that I'm literally afraid of. Yeah, I know. I know. So, me saying that it wasn't really scary means that it wasn't really scary. I mean, I don't think kids should watch it, but it's so good. Like, it's just so good. I have very few problems with this movie, but since I brought it up, let's get into them. My first problem is a year after the initial incident. I'm not going to spoil it for people because that's not what I'm about. Or I don't try to be about it. It just happens. Anyway, after the initial incident, a year after it, we find out that the wife, Emily Blunt, is very, very pregnant. First off, I have a question about that. How do you have silent sex? Like, I know the woman could just lie there like a dead fish, like a friend I used to have that told me that she just lay there without making any sounds or motions while she was having sex, which to me is especially annoying and disturbing because I'm a quadriplegic, and the last time I did the nasty, even though I can't move the lower part of my body, I was still a participant in the nasty doing. Anyway, super off track. You can't have completely silent sex. There are springs and beds that creak. There are noises. I don't have to explain it to you. If you know basic human anatomy and such. That's my question. Now to the things that annoy me about her being pregnant. How does she think she's gonna keep a baby quiet all the time? Like, they have this room that they're trying to soundproof. They don't know if it's actually gonna work. And how do you give a quiet or silent birth? You can't. That shit is fucking... Watching her try was painful. And why would you want to bring a child into this godforsaken new world of monsters and fear and no talking? Like, I have so many issues with her pregnancy. I mean, I'm assuming they're trying to compensate for something that happened earlier in the movie, but that doesn't matter. You can't fix it. You can't replace something. Anyway, that's one problem I have. Another problem I had was the overly moody and dramatic deaf daughter. Like, she was so mean to her father when all he did was try to love her and help her, and he was so kind, and she always made him feel like garbage because she felt guilty about something. So just because she felt guilty, she made herself believe that her father didn't love her, because she made herself believe that she knew that her father thought that something that happened was her fault. So she's just a total bitch the entire time. And then she doesn't realize how much her father loves her until he makes the ultimate sacrifice. And then it's too late for her to say, "I love you too, Dad," because he's fucking made the ultimate sacrifice. We all know what that means. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It's the third thing I have a problem with is the ending. I mean, I can surmise what probably happened when the screen went blank and the credits started rolling, but there are no guarantees. It's just, it was like a cliffhanger, but not a cliffhanger. Because you assumed you knew what was going to happen, and they just didn't show it. But what if something went wrong, and, you know, some shit went down, and we just wouldn't know about it? Those are my only problems with the movie. The rest is great. It's heart-wrenching. It's shocking. It's new, fresh idea. It's awesome. And it's got John Krasinski in it, so cello. That's the only reason I wanted to see this movie. And then I saw it, and then I was like, holy shit, this movie is awesome. And John Krasinski. So it was just an added bonus that the movie was awesome. That's about all I have to say about that. Well, that was my review. It wasn't great, but I'm pretty rusty. Also, I'm bad at most things, so there's that too. Like this video if you liked it. Comment below if you saw the movie and tell me what you thought. Even if you didn't see the movie, comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, click that dumbass bell icon so that you can be notified every time that my dumbass posts. That's all I got. And keep being badass, keep being nerdy, much love, and peace out, y'all.